He booked her calendar so she could not make plans with others. They spent hours upon hours on the phone with one another. I convinced myself that it was just new love. When I was with her, I noticed her checking her phone about every 5 minutes and observed her text too many times to count throughout the day. He was trying to control her through this constant communication. Jamie announced she had gotten a job and was moving to Florida to be closer to her abuser in 2006. My heart sank. He wanted her away from her friends and her family to gain this deeper control. He would accuse her of flirting with men in her everyday life, such as co-workers, friends, or even waiters. This caused arguments, and afterwards he was extremely apologetic. Jamie said she felt sorry for him. Alarm bells were going off in my head. They would make up and break up, and each time he would come back crying, saying he would change. I did a lot of listening, and I did express my concerns. It went from feeling like something wasn't quite right to knowing it was very, very wrong. But I never called it domestic violence. Not to her, not to her parents, and not to myself, because I didn't know that's what it was. She didn't have the bruises and the physical marks that I associated with domestic violence at the time. So I never called it that. For her birthday, I sent Jamie a necklace with a spiral on it. The spiral stood for courage, and I included a note telling her that I hoped she would find the courage to leave this relationship. I was worried about how it might be received, but was relieved when she called me and said that she loved it. And I saw her wear it many times when we were together. Jamie saw the light in June of 2012. I will never forget where we were when she told me. We were at Ron and Jan's lake house, a very special place to us, and we were on a pedal boat ride when she told me she had broken off the relationship. They had broken up many times, but this time was definitely different. After 7 long years of this horrific relationship, she had found the courage to leave, and I knew she meant it this time. Courage was the key. It had to be Jamie's decision to move on, and it took incredible strength for her to break free. Jamie was back to her old confident self and was so full of life again, and I noticed that her infectious laugh had returned as well. Jamie, as she was so good at, planned our annual girls' trip for August. My mom, Jan's sister Barb, my Aunt Peggy joined us on a trip to Chicago, and we had a ball. On that trip, she announced she had gotten a new job with Coca-Cola Consolidated, in which she would be moving from Florida to Texas. We were beyond thrilled for her, and her future seemed so bright. When we parted, I hugged her, told her I was proud of her, and that I loved her. She responded with her usual, "I love you more." I had no idea at the time that that would be the last hug I would ever receive from Jamie. Jamie's zest for life and desire to see the world continued, and in September she traveled to England. As is the case with many abusers, hers would not let her go. He would not accept that he would no longer have the power to manipulate, control, and intimidate the person he claimed to love. His premeditated plan began with investigating Jamie's every move while she was away. He had hacked into her email and Facebook accounts, and he knew her flight number. He waited for 2 days at the Tampa airport for her to return. I received the horrifying phone call late that night. He had shot Jamie in the heart, killed her, and then he had taken his own life. I had never considered a world without my beloved Jamie in it. When Ron and Jan recovered Jamie's personal belongings, we discovered that she was wearing the spiral of courage around her neck, and it was covered in her blood. Obviously, my family will grieve the loss of Jamie for the rest of our lives, and we are forever changed. At first, it felt really hopeless to me. We loved Jamie so much, and still we could not save her. So what hope would anybody else have in that same situation? When we reflect on Jamie's story, the warning signs were definitely there.